Ready for another round? It's Brewsday Tuesday. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
I'm not very ready for another round. I put the label and it puts it all out of focus. If you're watching on Facebook Live, I'm sorry, you can't even really see me now. But it is Brewsday Tuesday.
DreZ is like Bigfoot.
Brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. We didn't even pop it. All right. Now we got it. We got time. Okay, whatever. The shooters are back for some reason on Brewsday Tuesday. It's because we don't get a lot of bottles anymore. It's all everybody does cans now, so it's pretty rare that we get to bust out. And it just seems unfair when one person has a bottle and the other person has a can, which when you do the rare occasion you do have a bottle, more often than not the other person has a can. So it's kind of fun bringing those back. Yeah, that's fun. It is Maine Beer Company is our focus on Brewsday Tuesday, which we did happen to grab these bad boys from the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. So as we are talking about these, if you want to go and try them for yourself, you certainly can do so. Although I don't know, maybe not. I haven't been to the cellar in a while. I tried to go this past weekend, but it got to be so late. And I was like, I don't have to go to the beer store. So maybe I'll just wait till next weekend to go beer shopping and go see Mikey. But honestly, these beers might not be there anymore. As we already talked about the dates, we're pushing it on the 90-day thing or whatever, which these ones I noticed have a bit more of a shelf life. I think that's because of the style. I just opened Mean Old Tom, which is a stout aged on natural vanilla beans. Now, as we mentioned, with the dates on there, this one says drink this fresh within 120 days. So I guess with the stouts, I don't know. Yours is a stout as well. Does it have a 120-day mark too?
It's got a no, actually, shockingly, 90 days.
90 days. Maybe it's because mine's aged.
But this is the fall coffee stout. So I wonder if the coffee. I don't know. I would wager it's a misprint. They realized the stout could wait.
Or, well, I don't know. We're not more than 90 days removed from fall. What's the date on yours? Is it did we get in there, or are we
It is 27th of September, so we're still
good. Still good.
Still in fall.
There you go. So let me take a picture of this for the old Untapped app, which is how we like to rate our beers. I think I forgot to mention that. I've been forgetting to mention that for a while, but DreZ Drinks is my handle. Big Nate Danger sits across from me. It's a pretty handy dandy app that you can utilize to keep track of the beers that you've liked. I know I was actually just recently talking with somebody about Untapped, and they're like, yeah, I was like, that sounds really cool. And I did it for like a weekend and never really did it afterwards. And so I feel like there's that, there's the people that start the account and they give it a shot because it is a lot to keep up with. But if you're really passionate about craft beer, it's quite the tool to utilize.
Here's what you do. Keep your Untapped, delete your Facebook, call it a day.
That's a good point. I honestly, I don't scroll Untapped like people do on Facebook. I know people do though, because it is kind of it's way more of a social media in my world than actual social media. I post something on Facebook maybe once a quarter, and I post something on Untapped maybe 20 times a week, depending on how much I'm drinking.
And there's almost zero chance you're going to run into like one of your cousins who you haven't talked to in a long time posting some like racist article about how.
Oh yeah, it's all just
It's just beer, and beer is good.
Beer is good. No, that's a great point to focus on as well. But yeah, I guess I never really thought of it as a social media, but that's exactly what it is for the most part. I mean, yeah, it's about social drinking, which is pretty cool. So, sorry, I'm burping. I've been drinking. And full disclosure, I've just been drinking today. I haven't eaten anything yet today. So I should be feeling pretty good by the end of this.
This is going to be fun.
Oh, and I didn't even mention
What's the ABV on yours?
There's a good question. I didn't even 6.5. Is your 6.5 as well? Is that what they do? Is all Maine
This
beers?
is 5.6.
Oh, okay, so not
So
even.
still 6 and a 5, just opposite order.
So here's the thing, man. Like I usually tend to gravitate towards bigger ABVs, but some beers, they're good even without a big ABV. So about this Mean Old Tom, you want to learn about Mean Old Tom?
I would prefer to, yes.
I think it was the summer of '76. I was 5 years old, and my Uncle Tom came to paint our house. It was in the tiny town of Louisiana, Missouri, on the mighty Mississippi River, where he would take me to troll the roadside ditches to gather one man's junk, beer cans. In honor of this magnificent treasure, his beer can collection, and his spirit for fast cars, tough motorcycles, and mean smiles, we bring you Mean Old Tom. So I'm guessing they brewed this beer in honor of Uncle Tom. That's
Did he have a cabin?
I don't
Because then it takes on a whole nother note.
when they're talking Mississippi and Louisiana, yeah, it does seem like it was going. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but it does seem like it's
Odd.
going that route. I don't know. I don't know if this is actually somebody with Uncle Tom or not.
So this is the fall coffee stout, and coffee always solid, stouts always solid. Fall, okay, it's a
Oh,
season.
That's super solid. That's the best season. We've had this conversation.
I'm a big fan of spring, but fall does have the most fun stuff. Spring needs to get a angle on parades and football and sports. As the leaves begin to change and cooler nights predominate, we celebrate the turn of the season with a new beer. Fall developed from our former pilot beer series and is a stout made with cold brew coffee that was selected with our friends at Coffee by Design, which is probably where the 90 days comes from, because if they're using cold brew brought in from out of house, they've got their own regulations.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably where their 90 days is at. Thank you for drinking our beer. You enable us to continue to do what's right, take care of the earth and the creatures that live on it, take care of our staff, and keep making better beer. 5.6% ABV, pretty low for a stout of this caliber.
I was a little surprised about that too. I mean, every other beer was 6.5. I would assumed it would have stuck with that amplitude, but yeah, just like mine, nice dark beers, man.
I wonder how much caffeine transfers over in the process too, though.
See, I don't drink enough coffee to really even know the whole caffeine ratio sort of stuff. I know espresso is more condensed, right? But what does your average cup of coffee have? Maybe I could do a little Googling and see if it translates. I don't know.
I want to say espresso is something like 200 micrograms, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It just makes you feel good when you drink it, which is so far on these first few tastes kind of how I'm feeling about this coffee stout. So pretty straightforward. How off was I?
Oh, I'm not in the realm to try and actually do it. It's too much. You can't do this. You can't. Then you're gonna have to be talking by yourself. I can't be trying to surf the net while I'm and looking up stupid questions. I Googled it and I didn't see the immediate Google answer. So it's like, all right, well, I tried, but not gonna get the answer. It's obviously too complex. Figured there would be, there's too many variations to get a straight up answer.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's espresso, there's lattes, Americanos, like it's a whole universe.
Well, I was trying to look into how much it would go into a coffee stout.
Okay.
So that's way more of a loaded question.
Cold brew is more concentrated. So I would imagine it's higher than like your average cup of espresso. That's my contribution. So it probably might
Sounds
be a
good
little
to me.
bit,
Sounds right to me.
which segues into Four Loko. Remember Four Loko?
We've been down that road before. They're still floating around, man. I bet we could even find some for the show. Put a call out. Four Locos. If anybody's been sitting on Four Locos or juices, the original recipe with all the crap in it.
They
Let's
definitely
get wild.
They definitely don't have an expiration date.
No, I'm sure they would get the job done. They're probably even more so now. Oh my
It's just been
goodness.
sitting all those years.
So we have, what do we got? What's today is the 6th. So we're just now going. We're a couple less than 3 weeks from Christmas and whatnot. I like it. So Christmas and New Year's Eve falling on a Sunday this year. Somehow it wasn't until this year that I noticed that like the holidays fall on the same day because they're 7 days apart every year.
It
Never
wasn't.
occurred to me.
It wasn't until you said that I realized that.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that's on a Sunday this year. Oh, and so okay, that's cool.
Strategic placement.
Yeah, I guess so.
What's your ideal scenario?
Well, I guess when it comes to, because it's weird that it's I don't know, is it good to have it on a weekend because then you usually get the bonus day and then you're still not having to. You're probably it probably is good to have it
I
on
think this year might be the best scenario.
on a Sunday. Yeah, you might be right.
That's my theory. We'll see how it pans out this year.
Yeah, that's actually I had never really thought about that, but yeah, Sunday sounds good. That is good, and then you get the extra week. Yeah, I like that. I do like it on Sunday. So what do we have to? How long do we have to wait for this to happen again? Do you know the calendar
no
with the
idea.
leap years and stuff? I don't
Leap
know.
year throws me off. Why did we ever?
In my
have that?
mind, it would be 7 years from now. That makes sense because in 7 years from now, you'd cycle through. But that's not how it works.
No.
Mm-mm.
Throws-
Or is it? I don't know. It might be, but I don't think so. It's more complicated than that.
It there's been a lot of math put into it, and now we're at a point where, particularly with daylight savings time, everything is just completely thrown off. It's possible that right now is January 31st. We don't know because we've doctored the calendar so much to fit our needs. It's all arbitrary.
Yeah, but I mean, well, and that's our calendar because does the Chinese calendar, is that a whole different thing?
Chinese lunar calendar is entirely
Well,
different.
but is that totally different? I don't even know. Am I talking out of turn? So does August 4th make sense on a Chinese calendar, or is it just because of how they? Is it all just?
Well, like the Greek calendar only had 10 months.
But nobody uses that anymore, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just something we completely.
We do have a
just
universal
made up.
calendar now. Is it worldwide? Everybody uses that same calendar.
I would think at least in like the science community and like business community. Yeah.
I know not everybody has
'Cause
the
the-
daylight
I mean-
savings.
I-
Even a lot of states don't have it anymore. And in fact, I thought that we were done with that, but maybe did that
No,
not pass?
So it passed one of the chains of government, but now they're trying to fight it, not approve it. And granted, they've got time
just like anything
because-
that involves government, it's not gonna
Yeah.
nothing's gonna get done.
but the bill was structured in such a way that we were still going to make our switch here in the spring, and then like we were just going to stay in the fall.
But I thought that, and another thing is because that sounds great and everything, but didn't we even try that back in like the 80s or 70s and nobody liked it, so they went back?
Yes, but
So-
we don't learn from history.
No, apparently not.
So we're just going to keep cycling through it. But Arizona, Hawaii, and I think Alaska still. Well, Alaska doesn't really count because they have like 63 days. Of
Yeah, Alaska's
no
a bit
sun.
bit of a wild, an outlier.
Arizona, like let's be honest, they know what the middle of the day is like in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we just follow Arizona's lead, call it a day. We're just making things up at this point.
Yeah, we like to do that around here. kind of like this show. We're just going with it, man. Maine Beer Company, stouts. That's what we're drinking. Mine's aged in natural vanilla beans, and I know we kind of talked about it. I scooted around it, but let's just say that this one is not within the 120 days. That being said, it still doesn't taste too bad to me. I mean, I'm not a big stout guy, so maybe I don't have a good barometer of what this maybe should taste like. But the fact of the matter that it was sitting on my hot fridge for God knows how long, and then now I'm drinking it. Maybe also, You know, I laid the groundwork by not eating anything today and having this in the second round, but this isn't tasting too bad to me, man. It does have some nice notes on it. Definitely could smell the vanilla. There's no question about that. The lacing is what I would expect from a stout. Obviously, they're very different than an IPA lacing, which is what I'm, used to seeing and enjoying. But I'd say this isn't a terrible beer by any stretch of the imagination. Not getting in the window, just like my last one. So I might, you factor that into the score a little bit. I'd say this is still a 4. I'm gonna give this beer a 4 out of 5 on the Untapped scale.
So I'm very excited to try yours once we wrap this all up, because vanilla is perfect for a stout. Such a perfect flavor. One of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, that's actually why I handed you the coffee stout, is because if I'm going to drink a stout or a porter, it can't just be a stout or a porter. I need to have a little something else going on with it to make it more palatable for me.
No, and that makes perfect sense. I feel like a lot of people get segued into beer with like shandies and stuff like that, which is kind of what they're doing there. Not quite though, because the ABV is actually pretty solid. Fall coffee stout, you're gonna lose points on this low ABV, 5.6%. But get that caffeine count to me. You can earn points back. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. It's everything a coffee stout should be. I wanted to. I can't go ahead and give it the 5, but I can give it the 4.75. Maine Beer Company killing it once again.
Yeah, Maine Beer Company, definitely good stuff. Give them a try. I know that well, assuming these aren't all gone, the Cellar Restaurant 6-pack store, they should still have a few. I'm definitely got to get out there this weekend because I got to do some holiday beer shopping, because that makes for good holiday shopping. Let's be honest, man.
This is perfect for Christmas morning, which I think would still be in the 90 days.
Yeah,
because I got
it says
27th of
well, I guess that's a
September.
good point. This is still fall. Are we technically in winter yet? I don't know what the first day of winter.
I think the shift is the official first day of winter is like December 21st.
You're right. Yeah. December 21st. So
you'll technically be outside of the window of fall, but this
come
is
Christmas.
for Christmas morning, delicious.
Yeah. So all right. Well, there you go. There's Maine Beer Company. Next week, we are going to be shifting to a different state, a different city. We're going to the Music City, Nashville beers.
I know a little bit more about Nashville.
Yeah.
Just a little.
All right. Yeah. I've been to Nashville a couple times, so it'll be good. And the beer selection is quite interesting. It was curated by I would say fan of the show. I assume he listens. We're friends on Untapped. I know him through my brother. He's a craft beer guy, and he met up with my brother recently and was just like, "Should I bring? You want me to bring some beers?" And I was like, "Oh yeah,
absolutely."
Sure. So there we go. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. Some Nashville brews. Looking forward to it. Big Nate, always appreciate you coming in and hanging back late on a Tuesday. We'll take a quick break. We'll get back with the tunes. It's right here, 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.